Okay, that's better. Someday I'm going to actually learn how to make this all work. Do you believe that?
Sure.
You got a cat, right?
I do.
Okay, we're live on YouTube, so we can. You don't have to be careful. You can use bad language.
Thank you for the permission.
Heads up.
Heads up.
In 3, 2. From the studio, in the bonus room above the garage on the foot of Mount Belzoni on the north side of Cary, this is the Triangle Talk Show. And this is episode 33, Movie Night, October 21st, 2018. First man with a flag on the play. Yep, my lovely wife, Cyndi, who's sitting there in the over-the-shoulder shot. More of a profile, I guess. And I are going to talk about... We're going to talk about her phone call that's coming in. It rings like an old-fashioned phone.
As it should.
So, we're going to talk about the movie First Man that we saw, but first I have to do something else.
Matching color. We didn't even know we were color coordinated tonight.
Actually, I did. I got the memo.
You got the memo. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
I don't know who sent it, but
I saw what you pulled out of the closet this morning, and I said, I'm going to be the same color. And you never noticed all day long.
I didn't notice all day long until now when I see us both on camera. I'm like, oh, okay.
There we are.
Yeah.
I need to interrupt for just a moment because what did you say when I said, are you ready to podcast?
I think there was an eye roll involved.
Something about you have to work and
I've got stuff to do.
Got stuff to do, so don't take a long time. Yeah. So I won't interrupt a lot.
Just net.
But yeah. In the oh, by the way, I'm Gary Pierce. That's me. And my lovely wife, Cyndi, an NC native. Okay, we'll get rid of all that stuff. So
what is that? It's at the fair,
it's
but
at the
what
fair.
is it?
Well, how would you pronounce that?
Oh, I know how I'd pronounce it, and I know that can't possibly be it, but what is it?
Go ahead and tell everybody how you'd pronounce it.
Suck up, but what?
Yeah, we're looking at a little booth, information booth at the State Fair. I talked about this in the episode last episode. And said the only way I can think of pronouncing it is suck up. It's a booth at the fair. Remember, we've got an audio audience here. So it's a little round metal structure, and the name on the top is SUKUP. So suck up. And I said I have no idea what they are, and I found out what they are. It's a manufacturer of mostly agriculture stuff, metal buildings for agriculture, and so that makes a lot of sense being at the fair.
Agriculture, yes.
Yeah, they provide all the little. There were probably a dozen of them scattered around the fair. Mm-hmm. So I found the website, and then I went searching. Well, how do you guys pronounce your name? And it isn't anywhere. The SUKUP Suck Up Manufacturing Company is a family-owned manufacturer of grain bins and dryers, material handling equipment, and pre-engineered metal buildings. And they've been around for a long time. 1962, started by Eugene, SUKUP. Eugene.
Wow, what a life.
If I were putting together this website, one of the things I would have put on it is how you pronounce their name.
Well, but it's pronounced the way you think, so.
Well, to the rescue comes something that we found on a previous episode a while ago. It's howtopronounce.com.
That comes in handy.
Yes, how to pronounce anything. So we're going to enter Sukup. This helped me with a town in Washington State called Clackamas. And they got it right. Sukup. And, okay, let's show me how to pronounce this. A couple of options here. Let's see what they say.
Sukup.
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 But that's sounding awfully robotic.
Yeah.
Let's see what there's two of them here.
Sukup.
So they agree.
Sukup.
I don't know if they're right, but they agree. There's some options down here for what's the meaning of the word? What is the meaning of this? And more accurate pronunciations and stuff. And you can record your own. But I tried. But I didn't try with this. I tried with something else. And it takes Flash Gordon, Flash app, and everybody's abandoning Flash. Mm-hmm. So don't you're on your phone. You're in the middle of a podcast.
I'm looking up relevant material for the discussion.
Oh, trying to find suck up.
No. First man.
Oh, okay. Which we're going to get to any minute.
Yeah.
I want to give how to pronounce one more try. Here's what I'm going to type in. You tell the audience what I'm doing as soon as you recognize it.
Oh yeah. It's the name of a town nearby.
What town?
Fuquay-Varina.
Audio audiences who we're talking to here. All right, so
I can't wait for this.
Let's sometimes it takes a while. There we go.
Fuquay-Varina.
No.
Fuquay-Varina.
Yeah, so again, there's two options here.
Fuquay-Varina. Fuquay-Varina.
Yeah, and they both sound computer-generated based on some algorithm somewhere. No humans were harmed in the recording of this.
Fuquay-Varina.
Okay, and you can score these. You can give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So I'll give that both a thumbs down. And this is the one I was going to record and tell them how to do it. But click to enable Adobe Flash Player. I'll try Adobe Flash. It's not enabling on this computer because I don't think it's on it. It's on one of my other computers, and I tried. What I discovered was that after I recorded it, and I recorded it all, and I did my professional announcer voice, Fuquay-Varina, and was happy with it, trimmed it up and everything, and then went to say, okay, take this, and they said, log in. Log in? I'm trying to help you. You're making this too hard on me. Ain't gonna log in. Before we get to First Man, one more story. You bought a new car. New used car.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing to talk about on the podcast, to make it brief, is your new experience with a driver-assisted car.
Yeah.
It's not
perfect.
Yeah, it's not self-driving.
It's not autonomous. No.
Not autonomous.
But it's pretty cool.
And what kinds of things does it do that you like?
Well, it keeps you in the lane, except when we discovered this was the first time we actually took it out for any length of time, because it was just last night that I bought it. Last night. But I noticed as we were going down US 1, whenever there would be an exit ramp, I mean, you don't notice it, but the white line on the right goes up the ramp. Well, my car goes, oh, hey.
Following the line on the right.
But it's
got lines on the left. It could follow those.
The dotted lines.
It could say, wait a minute. We have a divergence of lines.
No, what it does is it's just gently guiding you. I mean, if you've got your hand on the wheel and you're engaged, you're going to feel it trying to pull you, and you just gently push it back. And it'll go, okay. Oops, my bad. But yeah, it's cool, but I'm really starting to notice all the challenges around autonomous vehicles by dealing with all this technology that you think you know how it's supposed to work. and there isn't a lot of like standardization about how these things perform their duties.
Yeah, or how the roads are.
Yeah, because I was saying, well, if they just took that white line on the right at the exit and just went out about a foot or two straight with the road and then the car would just go do and just bypass it and not try to pull you up the ramp. So it's interesting. It makes you think. It makes you wonder. There's just an awful lot of challenges around autonomous driving.
The parts that worked better were the keeping a distance between you and somebody in front of you and stopping. It did all that.
Well, slowing down, I should say.
Have you let it come to a full stop with traffic in front of you?
No. Remember I told you, well, yes, but remember what I told you is that
it scared the hell out of you.
I was like, no. So when you have it in cruise control, you can set the distance between you and the car ahead of you. And even at the max distance, we were coming up to a stoplight because we were on a highway that suddenly had stoplights on it. And
yeah, US 1, it's a super highway down to Sanford.
Yeah.
And then you get to the southwest side of Sanford, and then it starts becoming stoplights again.
Right. And I was going to let it try, but it just got to, because I knew how much I was going to have to brake in order to come to a full stop. And I didn't want this thing to go, rah, and just, slam on the brakes.
So there were a red light and cars waiting at the red light.
Yeah.
Ahead of you, some distance, you could see it, at least a quarter mile away. And so it's barreling up to those.
Right. It's going to have to go from going 55 to 0 in a very short period of time. And so I, as the human, went, it's not such a good idea.
The safety driver.
So I went ahead and did my own braking. Thank you very much. But
so it's not designed to take you at a stop sign down to nothing or stop light with car. And if there were no cars there, it would have
gone barreling through.
Barreling through. It is not self-driving.
No. But you sort of get that comfort that it is to a certain extent, and that's kind of dangerous. But you just have to know that you've got to fly the plane.
Yeah. You also got that feeling when you pulled off at an exit ramp where you intended to pull off.
Yeah.
And then there's no cars there.
Yeah.
Just a red light.
Yeah.
And say, oh yeah, I've got to do this.
I've got to do this. So
slowing down
it's
stuff.
Interesting.
So it's like the human is now assisting the car in driving.
Yeah, and vice versa, sort of. It's
a cooperative. It's a team effort.
But it's a formula for disaster if not done properly by either the car or the driver.
What could possibly go wrong?
I know, but I love it. But I don't think it's for everybody.
Still getting used to it.
Yeah,
it is. You have an electrical engineering degree.
It's in here. Have you seen it?
you have a double E degree from NC State.
Yes.
You are a bachelor of science.
It cannot be taken away from me, by the way. I know you've threatened, but it can't be taken away.
You have a bachelor of science in electrical engineering, and this car has not stumped you, but it is a college level course.
It is. That's what I'm saying. It's not for everybody.
How to operate everything.
It is not. I mean, simply putting the thing in to drive is not normal for most American car makers.
Yeah.
This is
and
not
there's
American
just a lot of things to do.
This is German engineering. And they do things a little differently.
It's a Mercedes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a 17. So it's 17 was last year, but this came out in 16. So
Mid-16, yeah.
It's a two-year-old, 30,000 miles or so. Mm-hmm. Quite a bit cheaper than its
yeah.
if you'd bought it new.
Which is why I wanted to do that.
Why you
knock
bought
some
it.
of that cost off.
And then you
still get what I wanted.
Shed a tear and waved goodbye to your old Honda CRV.
Yeah.
But it was a nice car.
It was a great car. I loved
110,000 miles.
Yeah. And it had another 100 more to go. But I wanted the safety features. I really by driving rental cars that have a lot of this stuff on it, I decided that's what I really wanted.
Yeah. But also by driving rental cars, we discovered how difficult cars are to figure out these days.
Holy cow, yeah, that one.
When you just walk into them cold.
Yeah, at night, in the rain, and you're tired.
You're at the airport, you're in a hurry.
And you want to get the heck on the road.
Yeah.
And you can't even figure out, what is it we couldn't even do? There was something like the radio. I mean, something
we wanted to
completely
plug my
stupid.
phone into it and play my playlist.
Yeah, and we could not, for the life of us, figure that out.
Yeah. Well, no, it finally did.
Well, yes.
Pulled
but
off the road.
Yeah. That was not.
Beat on it.
That was not
yelled
a fun
and
night.
screamed.
Yeah, that was bad all over.
Yeah. Anyway, my editorial comment would be that perhaps we need some standards, and it would have to be government-imposed
Yes,
standards.
they're going to have to regulate
because
this stuff.
I'm a liberal, so I believe in government overreach.
If they don't regulate it and standardize,
to say this is the
people are gonna
way
be killing themselves.
this is the
left
way
and right.
you'll make these things work in your car, not however stupid way you want.
Yeah.
And after we get done with that, let's put the headlight dimmer switch back on the floor where it belongs.
I miss that. I swear that is the one thing from the old days that I absolutely miss. And it's just so intuitive. It's just, what else is your left foot doing these days, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not many people drive a stick.
Right.
So, you don't have to worry about the clutch. Just put that darn thing back on the floor, please. It's much easier than trying to hold the stalk. And
so we had like a 90-minute drive from the north side of Cary here at the foot of Mount Belzoni down to Pinehurst.
Yeah.
And during that entire drive, my job was to figure out how to program stations into the radio.
And you did. I didn't see how you did it, but thank you. I'm going to have to sit down with it at some point.
I do not have an electrical engineering degree, but I do have an extra class ham radio license.
Well, not to mention years and years of experience
Yes.
with audiovisual
really
equipment.
Practical experience.
Yeah. Yeah. But
which in the marketplace today is worth bupkis.
yeah, I know.
No sheepskin on that. I have a high school diploma.
Yeah.
You're impressed.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. We put your car in the garage.
And you'd have to know Gary's car to understand the joke here.
Yeah, my car is
What
a
year?
2007
Right.
Toyota RAV4. It's
With
pretty
some
good shape.
added.
It's got ham radio antennas all over it.
How many?
It's like a porcupine.
How
8.
many?
8 ham
Is it
radio
only 8?
antennas.
I thought it was 12.
No, it's only 8.
Okay.
And then there's a broadcast antenna, so there's a 9th antenna
Okay.
on the car.
That's right. It's up
It's a
front.
little
The old
porcupine.
style, yeah.
Yep. And
The joke was.
and it's 2007. It's got 180,000 miles. Just crossed that.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, the joke I was telling at the car dealer, we're going to back your car into the garage. It's going to look over at my car and go, ew.
You leak oil, don't you?
Yep. But my car is 4-wheel drive. And
Yeah,
your
that was
car
the one
is
thing that
rear wheel drive.
It's rear wheel, but yeah, I know, and it had all those safety features. And
I haven't seen rear wheel drive since about 1982.
No, I didn't even think. Yeah, I thought it would be front wheel at least, but
Because that's where the engine is. It makes a lot of sense.
well, hopefully we'll get a chance to try it out in the winter when we get a little bit of something.
In the wintertime when it snows, your car is going to look at. We would go out there and say, "Take that one. Take the RAV."
Well, yeah, we will.
When the garage door goes up and there's
It's
a
gonna
couple
go, "Hey,
inches of
you
snow in
kid,
front.
go.
Yeah, get in. You're up, kid.
You're up, kid. You, the oil leaker, go.
It does not leak oil. It's a really good shape. I mean, I had the opportunity to buy your Honda and get 4 years newer and 90,000
But,
miles
we're
younger.
both cheap.
Yeah.
And we realize that yours is a Toyota, and it's probably still, you're not driving it that much anymore. So you still have probably several more years worth of mileage out of that thing.
Yeah.
Easy.
Easy.
So why not save
So
the
run
money
it
and
into
just
the ground.
wait? Yeah, run it into the ground.
Yeah. Now watch. Having done all that, something is going to fall out of the bottom.
It's going to leak oil.
That's going to cost me $4,000 to fix something.
Yeah, that's the game you play, is trying to figure out when to cut loose before you get that big bill.
Can't tell.
Yeah.
Done pretty good so far.
Yeah.
So we saw a movie yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's. I think I can get away with this. Playing
You
at least
should.
some of the trailer. Well, getting away with it means
Advertising for them.
Yeah, I got to take. I used a little bit of Colbert on a previous show.
I don't know what that. Oh.
Colbert.
Yeah. Okay.
CBS.
Yeah.
And the show was making fun of a local town of Cary video
They were making fun of a Town and Kerry video?
Well, I was
Colbert?
making fun of the Town of Kerry video, but in order to make fun of it, it's a community calendar sort of thing.
Yeah.
Kerry produces a fair amount of video. Nobody watches it, but I've got, at this point, the Triangle Talk Show has more of an audience than most of the videos put up on the Town of Kerry. But they're trying, and they don't do that bad a job. But Colbert had done a parody, a spoof of community calendars.
Yeah.
I think they picked something in Illinois or Michigan.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Illinois. And so I compared the two. And so I used some footage from Colbert and some footage from Kerry.
Yes.
I did not get a takedown notice. Well, they don't do takedown notices anymore. They monetize. They don't shut you down. They just collect the money. And, and so far, CBS, which monetized that episode, saying that I violated their copyright on Colbert. So far, I estimate that they have made 1.25 cents.
Okay.
So good. And they'll roll a commercial before it. So if somebody watches that episode, they'll see a commercial first. Normally, you wouldn't see a commercial before Triangle Talk Show because I don't monetize. Because it doesn't make any sense. Piss off the audience for no money for me. So yeah, CBS sent me not a takedown. It used to be, if you did something like that, they would take you down.
And where were we going? I'm sorry, I've lost track of what we were talking about.
Oh, because I'm going to play a little bit of this clip here from First Man. It's their trailer. I should be able to get away with this, but watch, I'll
roll it.
Yeah. So very dramatic. We're seeing a rocket take off in a window with a guy looking out at it.
Be an adventure.
First man to walk on the moon. That'd be something.
I mean, the movie is about Neil Armstrong
A job so difficult,
and Apollo 11.
requiring so many technological
Gemini 8.
developments.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the story of up to Apollo
That
11,
leads up
and
to
just
it, yeah.
just to the very. I don't know that very few people have actually seen this movie, so I guess we better be careful about doing spoilers.
How do we
Only after
review
we
it
master
without
these tasks
doing
do we
spoilers?
consider
All
trying.
reviews review without doing spoilers, but I'll just announce a general spoiler alert here that we're going to spoil the movie.
You'll go down in
Yeah.
history. What kind of thoughts do you have about that?
We're planning on the flight being successful.
That was just after Apollo 1, I guess. Oh, maybe even before.
No, I think that was after 1.
The vehicle's not safe.
We need to fail down here so we don't fail up there.
This isn't just another trip, Neil.
I need to fail with the Triangle Talk Show down here so I don't fail with the Triangle Talk Show up there.
There are risks, but we have every intention of coming back.
This is a long trailer.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that's it for the show. Good night, everybody. Okay, now he's hugging the kid.
Here we go.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
And there they go.
Do you question whether the program's worth the cost in money and in lives?
You're down here and you look up and you don't think about it too much, but space exploration changes your perception.
Well, it's almost over.
And it allows us to see things that we should have seen a long time ago.
We have serious problems.
We've got this under control.
You're a bunch of boys. You don't have anything under control.
Bunch of boys. Is that the way you feel about it?
No.
And there, he's ready to make the first step. One small step for man. One giant leap for movie making.
I think they stumbled on this one.
Yeah. Okay. So we can't do the thumbs up, thumbs down thing because that's copyrighted by two dead critics, Siskel and Ebert.
I didn't plan on doing
Do
it.
it.
I was just going to talk about.
I think we still can if we want to. First of all, they're not watching this. So you didn't like it so much.
No, it did not meet my expectations. I was expecting something along the lines of Apollo.
Yeah. Here's
Apollo 13.
The movies that I would put it up
The
against
Right
are
Stuff.
starting with The Right Stuff, which was the Mercury program.
Yeah.
then Apollo 13, and even Hidden Figures, which didn't really have any space stuff, but
it was space based. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it was NASA based reality.
Right.
Docudrama.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so as far as the story goes, I thought the story was okay, but they clearly the goal was not narrow. Yeah, the goal was not to just show you how cool this all was and what
go through the
happened.
detail of what happened.
Yeah. To actually do what NASA has been accused of for so long, which is to fake a movie of a moon landing. Because they could have used the technology that they had to give you the play-by-play of everything that happened. I mean, not everything, because it would take too long, but that's not really what they did. The things that bothered me the most were all of the stuff in the Mercury program was tight close-ups and super shaky cam.
A lot of shaky cam going on.
Yeah. Everything was shaking like crazy.
It was more someone trying to prove their cinematography skills. It was more about that. Because they figured, I guess, they're going to get...
They're kids these days.
And I don't know who, I didn't go through and look who directed, produced, anything like that. But to me, it was more somebody trying to do something very different cinematography-wise.
You know what reminded me of? Blair Witch.
Well, I kind of had that response at the end. That's it.
Well, that too. But the shaky cam thing.
Yeah, for those that are old enough to remember Blair Witch.
Yep. So it was the Gemini program where they practiced the docking and that stuff.
Right.
And so in the launch, they did the Gemini launch, and they were going to do the first actual docking in Earth orbit just to practice the techniques. And during all the launch, everything, you never saw a wide shot of the rocket go anywhere.
No.
It was out the window, super tight close up of the guy's face.
And everything was, it was just this constant depressing mood. Everybody had a depressed mood, which I'm not buying.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I did learn that I didn't know was that he had lost his young daughter right before Gemini 8. Right before he...
Yeah, that's right at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, because he had not joined the Gemini team yet. I mean, I don't know if their timeline is correct.
We're talking about Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, Neil Armstrong. But I didn't realize that he'd lost his daughter. And it focused on a couple aspects of that in terms of, men try to be stiff upper lip and don't cry. And they show him, going off to a room by himself during the funeral afterwards and crying. But then he was haunted by her throughout different... It just seemed like that her death just cast this completely dark cloud over the rest of his life.
I call that the CW-ification.
I don't know what that is.
The CW network. All the shows on the CW network are full of angst.
Oh, okay.
Feelings.
Yeah, it was. It was nothing but depression and a little bit of anger on his wife's part.
Somewhere between a little and a lot.
Yeah. And I don't know, once again,
I'm going to have to go with you for the representation of all female kind. Because, I'll get in touch with my feminine side and said I can kind of understand.
Well, I think it brought up the fact that within the families, there's an awful lot of stress because, as they pointed out, that, they lost a lot of people. A lot of test pilots, a lot of astronauts.
And that was before any of the space shuttle stuff.
Yeah, before the space shuttle, right. Yeah, we kind of forget about that. That Apollo 1 was just
we lost
a horrible
3 in
accident.
Apollo.
Apollo 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Apollo 1.
That's all we lost
in Apollo,
through
which
the
is
Apollo
amazing
program.
When you think about the technology or the lack thereof back then.
Yeah.
That's all we lost. And that was something that should have never, ever happened. They were on the ground just doing testing. That wasn't even near launch time. I don't know how far off launch was, but they were just simply going through some exercises in the capsule on top.
It's what they call the plugs out test.
Plugs out test, yeah. And it was just horrible. And yes, I understand that cast a dark mood, but, you know, growing up, I watched all this. I listened to NASA. I listened to the astronauts talking, you know, before and after and during, and I didn't get that impression. I mean, I know it was behind the scenes, but this movie leads you to believe that everybody in NASA is depressed. Nobody smiles. Nobody jokes. Everybody's depressed. So,
and maybe to some extent they got that more right than movies like Apollo 13 and The Right Stuff, because those movies, well, they showed some of it.
Right.
They were more of a, you know, stiff upper lip, gung ho, challenge the world, overcome adversity.
Yeah.
Rah rah rah.
Yeah.
And
Gene Kranz.
this didn't have very much rah rah rah.
Option
a little bit.
Yeah.
So when they did the actual Apollo 11 launch, now we see some wider shots. You see the rocket going up.
Yeah, but still.
In the Gemini docking, they had to do some wide shots so you couldn't get any perspective.
But these guys didn't look excited. They looked scared shitless and depressed. Like I said, you know, I listened to the transmissions. You can tell in somebody's voice.
Okay.
And I don't remember that kind of deep, dark depression in the cockpit there.
Okay.
At all. I mean, but it just, even when they landed on the moon finally, they just kind of looked over, good job. It's like, you got to be kidding me. I'd be jumping. They were, I mean, you listen to them, they were giddy. Yeah. You watched them bouncing around. They were giddy. And they're portraying them as just, everybody's depressed. Sorry, but that's just, I came out there going, really? That was so freaking uplifting.
They did have a shot of moon jumping, moonwalking.
Yeah, right? But that was my point.
That was the shot.
There was that joy. These people were excited. But the way this movie portrayed everybody was there was no excitement. They were scared. They were depressed. I'm sorry. It just did not do it. I was disappointed. I was hoping to learn a little bit more of what went on behind the scenes.
And that's the other thing that occurred to me as I was watching it. And I'm not a good movie critic. I didn't make any notes while we were watching this, and we saw it once. But they don't explain anything.
No.
There was dialogue, but there was no voiceover. There was no
and there was no, you know, lines in there to help explain what somebody just said.
Right. I mean, they'd show you.
This was somebody just trying to show off their cinematography skills. And they're probably going to get awards for it. But
yeah, I was reading about that. That's the movie studio was not so much expecting a big commercial success out of this as critical success. It'll be up for Academy Awards. They don't expect it to win. They think that what is the new Sound of Music? No.
Sound of Music.
Yeah, that's not the one I'm thinking of. There's
Mary Poppins.
No, that hasn't come out yet. There's another movie that just came out. Singing and dancing or something.
Not La La Land.
No, I don't remember. I should be able to remember which one I'm talking about.
Is it still in the movie theaters?
Yeah,
okay,
I think.
Let me go look.
Anyway, the movie so far is a financial flop. Cost about $60 million to make. Let's see. Cost.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. If somebody said, "Would you go back again and see it?" I think I'd know.
Nope.
And I mean, look, you got Ryan Gosling, Claire Foy. I mean, you've got some great actors. I know they're very capable actors, but it just had this terrible dark cloud over everybody.
A Star Is Born. It's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that's going to probably get the Best Picture.
Yeah.
So this movie has made $55.5 million worldwide, $30 million domestically. They can't pick up that last $50 to make it an even 30 million, I guess.
Probably went over last
$29,999,050. Well, it's only an estimate. If you're only going to do an estimate, make it an even 30 mil. Come on. We're looking at, what website are we looking at here? Box Office Mojo. Anyway, there was one other controversy about it, besides that you really didn't like it and I only kind of was mixed. It was okay, but I wouldn't go see it again. I would want to see a better. It was interesting that they've done the Apollo 13. They've done the right stuff. There's been a made-for-TV movie on Apollo 11. But this was one movie that you'd think that this would be the thing, that we'd have 5 major Hollywood movies out by now.
Yeah, because it was like an amazing event.
There've been real documentaries, but
Yeah.
no one has made the Apollo 11 movie until now, and it sucked.
They still have a chance.
It was a suck-up.
They still have a chance
Well, they'll probably make
to
another
do
one.
better. I
Yeah.
hope they do.
I'll make another one sometime.
But I'm the person that likes documentaries anyway. I don't.
You're not big on the Hollywood treatment?
No.
I think they need to make a Marvel movie out of it.
A Marvel.
Then I'd be happy. This is what the critics think. This is the Rotten Tomatoes. It got 89%.
Of course the critics
guaranteed
like
fresh.
it because it's cinematography.
Yeah. And the audience was on the positive side, but down to 62%.
I'm surprised it's that much.
And what I was thinking as when we were going in, I was describing to you why I thought, well, I haven't seen the movie yet.
Right.
Why I thought the audience was down on it because of the flag thing.
Okay, you said you read something in
I read a
reviews
lot.
about what
Yeah,
was the problem with the flag, that they didn't show them planting it,
They didn't show planting the flag.
but they showed the flag.
It was in the background of one shot.
Yeah.
And that's another thing about it. All of this movie about going to the moon, and how long did they spend in the movie on the moon?
Oh gosh, not long at all.
2 minutes,
Yeah.
maybe 3.
Yeah, you'd think they just kind of jumped down and went, cool, and jumped back up again
Yeah.
and left. but they were down for, what was it, 12 or 24 hours?
I don't think it was 24.
No,
But it
no,
was- it
probably
was,
wouldn't have been there.
7 or 8 or 10 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, we can ask.
Oh, let's find out. I'm curious too as to how much time they really did spend.
How long Apollo 11 on the moon? On the moon. Well, 3 days traveling through space.
Keep going. Come on. We didn't ask. How far is the moon?
How long were
Or
Apollo
Apollo
11 on the moon? Well, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's a simple question.
Yeah, it's a simple
I don't
question.
want to
They're
know how
just
to
not going
build
to-
the watch. I just want to
Right.
know what time
I
it
just-
is. And there's just too much here. We're looking at a NASA site now. Maybe. When did Apollo 11 land on the moon? Well, it never did. That's the big,
You
that's the
flat
big
earth,
secret.
are you? 22 hours on the moon. Really?
I didn't think it was anywhere near that
I
long.
didn't think it was that long. Okay, so let's see. Touchdown. Was it 4:37 p.m.? Oh, that's right. It took them forever. I remember as a kid, I was so nervous and just wanted them to get the heck out of the hatch and onto the moon. And I was worried about them because they weren't going out. Go ahead and bring that back up again, would you please?
The
2.5
EVA began
okay, wait a
7
second.
hours. Okay, so they had 7 hours after they landed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is I just didn't understand what took them so long. I mean, I know it takes me a long time to get dressed, but come on. So they only spent,
Well,
no, hold on. Whoa,
they had to
you're
go to the
going past some good
bathroom,
stuff.
before they went out.
They had diapers. So 2.5 hours on the surface.
Oh, okay. So they only walked around for 2.5 hours.
Right.
All the rest of that time was they stayed in the cabin
Yeah.
because it was raining.
Yeah, I never did understand why it took them so long to get prepared to go walk on the moon. You know what I've got, what is that book? It's a pretty thick book.
From the Earth to the Moon or something like that.
Yeah, I should probably read that.
Now you're all ginned up again for it.
I am, yeah.
Yeah. So, but in the movie itself, spent almost no time actually on the moon, and then they come back. They show taking off, which was another tense moment. They got
Every time they took off or landed, it was a tense moment.
Yeah.
Criminy.
But this one in particular, because if that rocket didn't fire up right the first time, they're staying on the moon.
They were staying there. They were going to become permanent fixtures.
They read us the news bulletin.
And I bet they did that.
I'm sure they did.
I bet they really did that. And I just
That was the in case.
Yeah, it's like all those years of watching West Wing. You're like, yeah, I guess they do that.
Yeah. Because West Wing was a dramatic show. It was a documentary of all I know about what happens in the White House I learned from West Wing.
Well, the fact that they had all the
press secretaries
giving them guidance, I think it's pretty close.
You got a
to
cat?
What went on. Yeah, I've got a cat.
Got a cat in your lap?
I do.
Which one is that?
That's a Sarah Delicious. I wouldn't want you to pet me, Mom, and you're moving around too much. So, yeah. I enjoyed the comfy chair. We're spoiled now because we'll only go to one movie theater that has the reclining chairs. And I didn't realize
this episode of the Triangle Chalk Show is brought to you by the Briar Creek Theater.
Yeah, because you can only fit 45 people in there, and I think that's hilarious.
Sarah D is bumping the audio audience. You don't have headphones in, so she's bumping the microphone with her head. I own this now. She's putting her scent on it. My microphone.
So I enjoy the lounge experience.
Yeah. It's a Barco lounger you sit in.
Yeah.
I went to one, though. We went to one movie, and yours reclined, and mine was broke.
I know. I felt bad for
Very
you,
uncomfortable chair to sit in, sitting up, bolt upright.
And unfortunately, it was a full theater, so we couldn't move around.
Yeah. What movie did we see that time? We rarely go in prime time. We went yesterday to the 12:30, and it wasn't very crowded.
No.
It was their small theater. The screen is only slightly bigger than the screen in our
85-inch when we saw it at Best Buy the other night.
Well, I was just thinking the 58-inch we got in our living room.
I know. Yeah, but it's great. I love the setup. That's the only way and the only reason I will go and pay to see a movie is because they have such nice chairs. We should just go ahead and get the nice chairs and put it in our living room and just be done with it and get the 85-inch.
And the 85-inch.
And the 85-inch, yeah. 4K, HD.
With local dimming.
Ultra. Yeah.
Yeah, UHD.
Yeah, whatever all the fancy things are now.
Yeah. Our friend Jeff has...
The 4K, and I can
it's
tell.
not an 85-inch, but it's a 4K.
No, but 4K,
our TV is an old plasma. It's one of the first ones to come out, 720p. Yep. Not the first ones, because Jeff had one of the first ones. Yes. He paid like $7,500 for it.
I remember that.
And I thought I got a deal because I got ours for like $4,500, $4,000.
Okay. Yeah.
Who would pay $4,000 for a TV?
We would.
Feeling my oats because I was doing that Travelocity stuff.
That's true.
Travelocity presents a big fat check.
Yeah, the day when our mailbox was an ATM machine, spitting money out. Those are the times.
Yes. What I don't like about it is that even playing DVDs, which are not high definition devices, they're 480p, play DVDs, and it looks like a movie looks like video.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't look like a movie anymore. There's the film look thing.
Were you speaking of our TV?
No, on
4K?
Jeff's 4K.
Oh, I love it. I love the way they look.
Everything looks too crisp and...
What? How is looking too crisp a bad thing?
Well, it's always been difficult to describe what film looks like compared to what video looks like.
Okay.
And those TVs take film, which has always been the goal of good video or good cinematography or good the look of the image. Video is soap operas. They've always done soap operas with video cameras.
Remember what that looked like.
And primetime TV shows shot on 35 millimeter film. And So to look at a movie as if it was shot on a video camera, well, that's just wrong.
No, looks good.
Okay. I do kind of get over it and get used to it, but
yeah.
but you totally lose the look of film.
Okay.
The look of film is on your screen. A look that apparently you've never seen. Oh, well. It's bedtime here.
No, it's work time here.
Oh, it's work
Remember,
time.
some of us have a stinking job.
I remember jobs.
It's a good
I used
job.
to have one.
It's a good job, but I've got some things I need to get done.
Just in case your boss watches the podcast. She likes her job.
Siri just told me to call my mother and father back. That's interesting.
Was that who rang when the phone rang before?
Yeah.
So
that's funny.
A little bit too much artificial intelligence going on there.
It's a Siri suggestion, it says. Alrighty.
Your mom and dad called and you put them on hold to do a podcast? I am impressed with you.
Well, you'd already got it started. I didn't want to just start it right there, but I didn't realize it was as late as it was. So
yeah, too late to call them back because they're long gone to bed.
Okay.
They'd have called you back again if it was an emergency.
Yes.
So, all right. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is it for this episode of the Triangle Talk Show. First man, flag on the play. Get it? Flag on the play. Now you know why I titled it that. Episode 33, Cyndi and Gary at the movies. October 21st. Oh, you know what tomorrow is?
Yeah. It's the 22nd. It's your birthday. My geezer's birthday.
And you know what we can do now that we couldn't do a couple years ago? Sing the actual happy birthday song.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they lost all their court battles to the
Oh,
copyright.
good.
So we can sing
stupid.
happy birthday
No,
to
we
me.
won't. No, we won't.
Or we can do it like most people do.
You can.
Like Jeff was doing when we were having dinner the other
The
day.
dirge, yeah, no.
Everybody sings happy birthday like a dirge because when you have a group of non-professional singers, they sing everything like a dirge.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
So you have to go to, what was the place they used to bring out the Mexican hat? What was the Mexican restaurant over there?
Chi-Chi's?
Chi-Chi's, yeah.
It was Chi-Chi's? Does I remember that right?
Chi-Chi's, yeah, up on Wake Forest Boulevard, Wake Forest Road. Yeah.
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 Yeah, they give you a giant sombrero.
Yep. And they had a real catchy tune they'd sing to you.
Do you like restaurants that send the whole staff out and, you know, going,
no, God.
happy birthday. We can't sing the real song because it's copyrighted and we would go to jail. Happy birthday. We hope you have a...
Yeah. Those you just wanted to hope that the cane came out and dragged him off stage.
Don't do the second verse.
God, please no. Yeah, I haven't heard any of that in a long time. But then again, we don't really go to a lot of chain restaurants per se that would do that.
Yeah.
So
well, we were at Ruby Tuesday last Friday.
Did they?
And
they didn't sing.
No, they didn't. They brought me a balloon on my mug of cola, and they gave me some free ice cream. Yeah. Even though it wasn't actually my birthday on Friday, but it was
close
when we were celebrating it with friends. Mm-hmm. We didn't actually pick Ruby Tuesday to celebrate my birthday at. We picked Ruby Tuesday because it was over in Crossroads, and some of our friends had something to do over there, and we will have birthday dinner. This episode of the Triangle Talk Show is brought to you by Rosati's Pizza in Morrisville, the closest to Chicago-style deep dish pizza in the Triangle. There's a couple of other places that advertise themselves as Chicago-style, and I haven't been to. I've been to one of them. It's up on the northwest side. Not a well-known restaurant in town. Rosati's probably isn't well-known either.
What's the one we went to in Phoenix before?
Oh, that was Gino's.
That was Gino's, okay.
Yeah, that was part of the Chicago chain.
Yeah.
Now, Uno's, a famous pizza restaurant in Chicago, had spread out, had, what's the word I'm looking for? Franchised themselves
Yeah.
But they didn't. I'm convinced they did not give the franchise restaurants the real recipe. They came close. And we had an Uno's here.
And I don't remember.
For a while. And it was okay. Rosati's, which has a Chicago base, they got the recipe. Mm-hmm. And they're like 98% there.
Yeah.
The Geno's in Phoenix got the right recipe.
That's good.
They were there.
Mm-hmm.
And someday you and I are going to go to Chicago. Someday.
No
Well, we're going to go to Chicago next week.
Yeah, for an hour.
Yeah. Change planes in at O'Hare and never venture outside.
Oh, that reminds me. I got to see if we can get better seats.
Okay. Yeah,
we're
taking a trip. We're going to Los Angeles in a couple of weeks. But someday we've got to go to Chicago and see where I grew up. First half of my life. Mm-hmm. Someday we got to go to Winston-Salem and see where you grew up.
Well, we kind of have.
I've never seen your house.
Yeah, you have.
I have?
Yes. There's video of it.
Of me seeing... Oh, that's right.
And how old are you going to be tomorrow?
69.
Yowzer.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. We drove past it quick. And then we went to Dewey's.
Yeah.
And got Moravian sugar cake. The first time I had Moravian sugar cake was at Old Salem, 4th of July. At Old Salem.
Oh, that's right.
And they were actually baking it
before we even married, I think.
They were actually baking it.
Oh, yes.
At in Old Salem.
Dewey's. It's I can't believe I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, it's the original bakery.
Yeah.
That was there.
And I ate like a whole loaf all by myself. It was
like Julia's banana bread, except with more sugar.
I've given you the ultimate choice. If you're halfway between Dewey's for Moravian sugar cake and Julia's for banana bread, which way do you go?
Oh God, that would be a terrible thing to have to decide. Yeah.
You can keep your Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, you can keep your Krispy Kreme.
Hot off the line. No, that's a third category all on its own.
Okay.
Seriously.
The only thing you can get hot donuts now is the basic plain glazed. Which, I can eat a dozen of them, and if they were hot, they're even better. But that's not what I go for. I'll get, like I got at the fair, the eclair with and
can you imagine that hot off the line? Whoa, eyes back in the head.
I don't think you can do that.
That you can if you time it right. You can do it.
Well, I mean, if you're going to put like frosting on top, it's just going to melt and ooze all over the place if you don't wait till it's dry and cool. So yeah, I don't think you could squirt the custard in and all that stuff.
We're just going to have to go over there and find out.
We missed our last possible day. I mean, the fair is...
Not the fair. Wait. You go to the Krispy Kreme down on Peace Street.
The fair's open for 2 more hours. Let's go.
No, all those food trucks are gone. I don't know, Wisconsin Cheese probably stays there till the last minute.
Well, just about everybody stays till the last minute. I think their contract says you can't pull out early.
No, they couldn't literally pull out early. You can't do that's like the Ham Fest. No cars leave the building until X hour.
The people out there in the audience are going, Ham Fest?
Yeah, I know. So it's a whole don't
everybody
worry
goes
about
and eats
it.
ham?
Yeah. But
suffered through that
we
for
need
years.
to go down to Peace Street.
Mm-hmm.
And find out. I mean, they're cooking the jelly filled. They got to go through the same process.
Yeah, but I don't think they put the stuff in until they've cooled.
After?
I don't think so.
That's a good point.
I've never seen anything else come off the line but
You're right.
Plain glazed.
I mean, the only, you're right. I haven't seen that, but we'll have to ask because when I was growing up in Winston, we had a very small German bakery, not very far from us. And
not Dewey's?
No.
But Dewey's is what I'm thinking of, right?
Yes, but this was, this is terrible. I can see it, but I cannot remember the name of it. But it was a German bakery, and oh my word. I mean, you could watch them in the back room there making everything, and it was just the cinnamon twists. They had donuts, and the center was kind of cut out. It wasn't a hole all the way through. It was just sort of a little dent in the top. And they would put fresh cherry. Donuts.
We should both weigh 400 pounds.
We should. And we could. It would not be that hard to do. But we resist.
Not all the time.
Not all the time, but enough that we're not weighing 400 pounds.
Yep.
But I absolutely understand how people can get that way. It would be easy.
You got yourself some work to do?
I got work to do.
Preparing for your phony baloney job?
Yep.
Okay. I'll prepare to get older tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then speaking of 400 pounds, we'll head out to Rosati's for that inch and a half thick Chicago style deep dish.
It's going to be later that night.
It's okay.
Okay.
It will be delicious. And a Monday night, they won't be busy.
On the phone until at least 6:30, I think.
Am I keeping you up?
Yeah.
All right. Say goodnight, Dick.
Good night, Gary.
This is the Triangle Talk Show from the studio. Wait a minute.
What's the new thing you've added?
The studio. I can't find the shot. Where'd the shot? Why isn't this working?
Can't help you.
Everything broke. There's the shot.
There's one shot.
I don't know why my... oh, that's probably why. Yeah. From the studio in the bonus room above the garage at the foot of Mount Belzoni on the north side of Cary.
Mount Belzoni. Where'd that come from?
Do you folks out there in the audience know what I'm talking about?
They have to be over 69, I guess.
Well, they have to be Steely Dan fans or Donald Fagen fans.
Oh, okay. Then I missed it.
Yeah, the Nightfly. Actually, I'm trying to remember the name of the disc jockey the Nightfly goes. Oscar or Roscoe or something like that or something. Anyway, he's at the foot of Mount Belzoni in Baton Rouge. Hello, Baton Rouge, from the foot of Mount Belzoni. There's no mountain in Louisiana.
No.
And there's no mountain in Cary. And I've done a lookup on it. And
there's hills.
There's nothing about any Mount Belzoni that anybody can make any sense of. So I just thought that would be a cool thing to put in there. And I'm glad you asked. Nobody else has.
Sorry I did.
Oh, I know how we end the show. You look straight into the camera and say...
No, you always start it.
You can start it. You remember it, right?
Well, over and...
Out.
Ta-da.